Before we wander on into the episode, I just want to make sure that everyone goes out there and hits up the YouTube, check out the Spotify, check out Apple, wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast, is to go down, like it, subscribe, hit the bell if it's YouTube. Make sure you're getting those reminders. We do put these out every week. So make sure you do all that. It helps us out. And in the long run, we can make better things. So again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Are you excited? We're fucking in Africa in like less than a month. Yeah, a month.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to be at this point.
You have to be excited for it.
I just mean
it's
like
kind of
it's a lot.
a cool thing. Well, yeah, it's gonna be a lot, but
No, I gotta like kind of. So I gotta. I did get the traveler's diarrhea like medicine
yeah,
just in case. She was like, it's so worth it just to have if you start getting sick, like versus like
yeah,
getting sick and then going to get it.
yeah. I'll probably end up bringing a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, like you said,
I mean,
yeah.
we have it at work, so
Yeah, no, it's not like it's crazy hard to get,
no,
but
no,
no,
it's just anti-diarrheal.
yeah, basically, yeah. YOLO was like Pepto Bismol. I was like, yeah, I'll just get the like it was really cool. The lady who like walked me through everything. I mean, I paid $20 for the consult, but it was like that. Like she gave me all the shots, so I got my yellow fever, my typhoid pills from her. She walked me through. She had like the website pulled up on a different computer in like her office there and like walked me through like, okay, you're going to Nigeria. Here's everything on that CDC website. Just
Yeah,
walked you through everything, what that means. Here's what you need. Here's your vaccines. Here's what you do have. Here's what I recommend you get. So like I even got the polio shot in
look at
that.
you making
Yeah.
sure no one gets polio.
It's not a fun one.
Nope, polio's not fun. Tetanus, not fun.
No.
Um, I mean, most of those things that they poke you for, not fun.
No, dude, that yellow fever too. It got because they put it in the back of your arm. My lymph nodes swelled up in my arm. So like laying on, like sleeping, I couldn't sleep on that side. It was weird.
Do you have a crazy dream?
Um, I don't know. Like I don't remember because I didn't even think about it because I had that's when I was down in I went to Yellowstone and hung out with
Oh,
Jared and Colton and those guys. And we went to I don't know. I don't remember that night. Maybe. Like I remember
I mean,
dreaming.
I didn't have a crazy dream. It was just definitely like way more vivid.
Yeah, like I want to say I did dream, but like I don't
Yeah.
like I just
Well,
like
they say that's one of the like common things that happens to people when they get that medication or the vaccine for yellow fever is you get the crazy dream.
that's a yeah, and then they say when you get it, like you hallucinate basically. Like if you get yellow fever, you start hallucinating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. She was
Just
like that's
me
what I
and
mean.
my friends having a good time.
She walked me through all the like everything and like the negative side effects, like, hey, if you start doing this, like use the bottled water
Yeah.
that like and then YOLO to like call me yesterday and like reinforce it. That was kind of interesting, I think.
Oh yeah, bottled water. I knew that going in, and like, well, I was sitting there going like, well, okay, there's like two ways I can go: is bottled water the whole time, or I can try and bring the
Like a filter.
filter, the water
Yeah.
bottle, and then with the water filter. Um, so both ways, one way, I don't know. I don't know what, but
Yeah, I was thinking about the
yep,
water bottle filter, like you're saying there. I was thinking about that too. And but then, I think bottled water is easy enough to come by there. Like we're not going far.
yeah,
We're not going to like a village or we're not going to too remote of places. We're staying in houses with people. Um, Nigeria is getting real interesting because it sounds like Annette and her dad are basically planning the whole thing. And
Nice.
you're just like, yeah, we're taking like, we land in a big city and then we take like a car to a town that's 4 hours away. We're staying in like a guest house kind of thing. Um, yeah. And then YOLO
I think
joke.
that's going to be a really interesting experience for you.
Yeah. Cause I want to be like by myself essentially,
Yeah, I
other
know.
than
And
YOLO.
I think it will be good for you if I'm being honest, my
No,
man.
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be exciting. I'm
I do
excited.
too. I think it'll be fun. I mean, it'll be bummer because it would have been really cool to go, but at the same time, like
No,
it
it's a
doesn't
lot.
work in my schedule. But I think it'll be a cool experience for you and a good travel experience for you.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be interesting, like you're saying, travel wise, because it'll be like you're not in that group setting. You're kind of alone in that way.
More alone, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm with a
So
group too.
for everyone, pretty much after this trip, either Zach's gonna get hooked on international travel or not hooked on international
Yeah,
travel.
exactly. Exactly. I don't know. Like Thea, I was talking to her about it because she could just sense it already. Like my anxiety before like international travel so far. Like I've just like these larger trips, the anxiousness, I don't know. It's kind of weird how it
I
comes
mean,
up.
that's
Not
normal.
no, exactly. Yeah, I get that. Like, but for other like domestic trips, I don't get that as much. Like people get
Yeah,
that normally, like you're saying, yeah. But like for this international, it's definitely
yeah.
it's starting to get me. Africa, I'm not, once I really like started talking to YOLO and these last few phone calls with him, I'm not as worried because like it just sounds like yeah, like you're with me, like is how he talks, right? He's like, you're with me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not I'm not worried about being there. And I wasn't at the beginning either. I was more concerned about, filling time. That's like
yeah,
that's the big thing, but sounds like there's going to be a bunch of stuff just going on,
yeah,
which
that's kind
makes
of the vibe. Like it sounds like he's planning a larger, like my boys are coming to town, so I gotta like entertain them too. The first night, I think, because we kind of get in about the same time ish, sorta, right?
I think you get in kind of well before me.
But you get in that same day, right?
Yeah, I get in the same day, but I think you're in like the afternoon, whereas I get in that evening.
Oh, okay. Because he did say like that day and like certain days like that, he's like, oh, we'll have like smaller dinners too, where it's like, oh yeah, like whoever's in town kind of thing. Like let's get
Yeah.
together. Um, so I'm excited to see that kind of stuff. I'm excited to meet his family. I'm excited to get into it. Like you say, like it sounds like yeah, he's gonna have us packed full of doing stuff every day. Like
Yeah,
people doing shit, man. It's gonna be fun.
it will be. It will be. Got my suit. It's just getting hemmed and all that. So I pick it up next week. And then it's like March and we're wheeling and dealing.
I know I gotta figure out I gotta get out to Oregon. Like that's the other like side
Do
of
you
it.
fly out of Portland?
Yeah. The nice thing is it's Portland to Seattle, Seattle to Paris, Paris to Nigeria. Like that's all like it's 1 hour,
Nice.
10 hours, 6 hours. And then it's like I think it's like 6 and 6 because we go to like on Kenya Airways, we go to Kenya and then we go to Uganda, I think, from Nigeria. And then we have from Uganda where you and I are on that flight right to Amsterdam and then Amsterdam direct to
Amsterdam
Portland.
and over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
direct to Portland, which is like a 10, 11 hour flight. That's going to fucking suck. But, just try and sleep and hopefully watch some TV and
Yeah. Got plenty of movies. Just make sure you download a bunch of movies to your phone
yeah,
for the whole trip
that's
and
true.
you'll be chilling.
I got to start doing that now.
Bring a book.
Right? That's the stuff I got to start doing. Actually, that's not a bad idea to bring a couple books. And then I was debating bringing my computer, but I don't want to bring it
Mm.
either. You know what I mean? I want this trip to be
I
kind of
know.
like
I was
not a
debating.
lot of
I
stuff.
was debating bringing a um computer too, but I was like, you know what? Nah, we're just gonna let bygones be got bygones.
Right? Like kind of that like I like the only reason would be for the planes,
Yeah,
right? To work on stuff, to do whatever. And it's like I don't want the hassle of pulling it out, showing it everywhere when I can just like leave it at home when I have my camera and I'm on my phone. And like
yeah.
that's that's really it.
Oh,
And then we
I
close.
ordered more Super 8 film, so
Oh,
that's coming.
that'll be cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see how that turns out with this
I'm
stuff.
I'm excited to use it.
You should
But
take some of the shorts from that, like some of the short clips from the Iceland one and post them to the Wandering Ways Instagram.
oh yeah, maybe I will
Just
one of
like look.
these days when I get really bored.
Yeah,
But you wanna
I think we can. Clink.
link? Good morning. I mean, not like that we haven't been chatting already, but it's a glorious day. You know,
Is it?
we're doing more than just chatting. We're here because at least in our news feeds, there's a lot more volcanoes popping
Oh my
up.
God. Like wild too. Like, and that's why I asked Yolo. I said, we going to Africa. I said, is there any volcanoes? He goes, yeah, there are, but like they're not close to where we're going.
Yeah,
And
I looked it up too.
it's like, like shitty. But like, we go to Hawaii volcanoes and like a month later it erupts.
Oh, that's the funny part is there's a bunch erupting right now, and it's not like we've been anywhere recently. Usually we go somewhere, then the volcano erupts.
That's what I'm saying. Like we went to Iceland and it erupts like a month later. And now it's gone off like crazy. It's gone off.
Well, it's like a different volcano, technically, I believe.
I mean, it's like in the same kind of area though.
Yeah, yeah, it's in the same area, but I
Right.
think it's technically two different erupted
Two
parts.
different vents. Yeah. Because I think there was
Yeah,
a vent by where we went. I want to say the original, like when it was opening like a couple months ago,
yeah,
was more over there. But this Grindavik one, I think that's closer to the Blue Pool and closer to that Grindavik town.
yeah. I think Grindavik, parts of Grindavik is like on fire.
Yeah. Did
Um,
you see the road and like the pipeline?
Yeah, that they're also like building a wall trying to save Blue Lagoon. Like they're doing a lot over because it that one's I don't know
Like
Icelandic volcano history very well, but you know that one's near a lot of more
people.
populated area.
No, exactly. And just that like that is your more volcanic area of the island, clear. Like that, I think that's that, when you look at like Hawaii volcanoes, it's like it's that edge of the island that's the most volcanic. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
other stuff pops up over time, but in reality, that's the one that's kind of like current. Um,
Mhm.
it's wild to see, like, because we were even seeing like ones in like the Pacific Ocean, like Southeast Asia, kind of going
Yeah,
off,
there's one near
not
Japan
going on.
that's going off right now. The Hawaii one was blowing. I think it actually just recently stopped.
Yeah.
But no, because I looked up preparing for today, um, I typed in, is there an unusual amount of volcanic activity in the world today? That's what I typed in because I thought so.
It's a fair
Well,
question.
going in, yeah, right. I mean, I've hearing about more of these
Earthquakes
volcanoes.
too, like
Yeah,
underwater
yeah,
earthquakes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, there's got to be more activity than usual. Come to find out, we are actually at normal levels.
Oh,
Anywhere, yeah, there's like 40 to 50 volcanoes that are erupting and active at any one time around the
that
world.
that makes sense to me because as what volcanoes are, I guess, you would think like it is that like core of the earth letting off that like steam, kind of like internal
Mhm.
cooling systems.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So, I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're not, the end of the world is not here. That's good news.
what
So
defines it as like an active volcano in that way, or
I
did you
don't know.
see the
I
definition?
didn't,
Like,
no, I didn't find the definition um, in the like article I read. But I believe I have one. Um, I
well, because
have,
like
I have
my
two things.
my question to kind of help better explain kind of where I was going with that is like you take St. Helens in the way like it's considered an active volcano, but it doesn't necessarily have magma and lava, visible where like Iceland and Hawaii kind of do.
Yeah. Yeah. So as of October 2023, the most recent update, uh, there's been 46 volcanoes erupting,
Okay.
which is absolutely normal. So what's more, each year since 1991, between 56 to 88 volcanoes have erupted on our planet. In the last 12,000 years, some 1,350 volcanoes have been active. Eruptions aren't just normal, they're responsible for shaping the Earth as we know it. Yada, yada, yada. Yet some of the violence associated with earthquake fissures opening up the ground can indeed ice and prepares let's see. It doesn't look like there's a definition in it.
Well, that's all right. But it sounds like they're like erupting versus
Yeah, yeah.
active even. Um, yeah, cool. That's cool to know. That is a fun fact.
Yeah, and it looks like there's not like an increase in activity either, so it's not like it's ramping up. It seems to be the people that watch this all the time are kind of like, yeah, this is pretty normal.
Right. Well, kind of I did my little research too when you said let's do volcanoes, right? And I kind
Yeah.
of went to the USGS website and
Mm-hmm.
the about volcanoes. They give a really good, they have a volcano hazards program, education, all that. But the about volcanoes are openings or vents where lava, tephra, in parentheses, small rock, and steam erupt onto the Earth's surface. Volcanic eruptions can last days, months, or even years. Um, what is a volcano? Many mountains formed by folding, faulting, uplift, and erosion of the Earth's crust. Volcanic terrain, however, is built by the slow accumulation of erupted lava. The vent may be visible as a small bowl shaped depression at the summit of a cone or shield shaped mountain. Through a series of cracks within and beneath the volcano and the vent connects to one or more linked storage areas of molten or particularly molten rock magma. This connection to fresh magma allows the volcano to erupt over and over again in the same location. In this way, the volcano grows even larger until it is no longer stable. Pieces of the volcano collapse as rock falls or landslides.
Huh.
Yeah.
What's interesting is as I was looking through, and this is why it's important to make sure that you read closely and pay attention to stats, because you can easily get scared by someone using the stats to their advantage, or scared or misled. But this one is it shows as the population on the Earth increases. It shows that the number of known active volcanoes increases as well.
Oh,
When you look at that, right, one
are you
would
saying
think
like climate
more
change is
people, more
affecting?
volcanoes, right? But it's a correlation, it's not causation. All it really means is because there's more people are probably spotting volcanoes that were already active.
Right. It's more of a kind of the like they understand what is an active volcano now, where it's like that was
Mhm.
just a mountain 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, the USGS scientists that's here in the United States monitor over 160 active and potentially active volcanoes here. Some are of these are erupting now, and others could erupt at some point in the future. Most of these volcanoes are located in Alaska, a state where eruptions occur almost every year. The rest of the volcanoes are located throughout the American West and in Hawaii. They have a volcano activity map to see these locations. The Kilauea volcano on the island of Hawaii is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. It has been erupting almost nonstop since 1983, except for when Zach and Mark showed up. Um, there are about 1,350 potentially active volcanoes worldwide, not counting the volcanoes under the ocean. About 500 of these have erupted in the past 100 years. Many of these are located around the Pacific Ocean, known as the Ring of Fire. In the U.S., volcanoes along the West Coast and Alaska, the Aleutian volcanic chain, are part of the Ring of Fire, while Yellowstone and the Hawaiian volcanoes form over a hot spot.
Fun, fun. Interesting. The thing I was looking up a couple things for preparation of for today, but going to the Ring of Fire comment that you made for
Yes.
the Pacific. I mean, if you're live out west, you're probably familiar of it. Bunch of earthquake activity. It's supposed to be bring the big one that's coming any day now. Could be today.
Could be.
Um, but over on the east, the Atlantic. So they're theorizing that the Atlantic Ocean is actually going to start to close up.
Oh,
So yeah, I mean it's natural as an ocean forms, then there's
right.
it kind of dissipates through normal subplatonic plates, all that stuff. Um, I was reading the Mediterranean Sea used to be much bigger, but it's now shrunk. It used to be the only one between like Eurasia and Africa, the sea between there. So same thing's gonna happen. The Atlantic's gonna start to close. The plates are gonna like there's gonna be new plates, new subduction zone, and they are gonna get their own ring of fire.
Oh,
Um,
that like farms.
Do I think it's going to be in our lifetime? I don't know. I mean, these things take like millions, hundreds of millions of years. So it's
Right.
like, this is just something we're noticing.
I agree with you in the sense that they take that long to happen because I think like over time it happens. But I do believe there are like some days out there where it's like all of a sudden this fucking thing just blows and it creates so much in a 24 to like week period, 24 hour to like a week period of like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. There's going to
Where it's
be
like this
days where,
rock just
yeah,
rips open and this river forms, but then it like over the like you're saying over thousands, millions of
yeah,
years, forms a larger kind of scale thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that's when we get the the biggest change you're going to notice is it's actually small over time. You're going to have big days and small days between that. You may
Right.
have days nothing moves, you may have days a bunch moves. When a bunch of it moves, we all know because we felt a massive earthquake. That's
Right.
it just goes boom, right? So like we know when those big days happen, and those big days do happen.
And they do. They cause havoc.
They do.
There's also four different types of volcanoes. Well, not just types. There's four main types of volcanoes.
Mm,
You have the cylinder cone, um,
classic.
right, made of solid lava. Then you have the composite volcano, the stratovolcano. Some of the Earth's grandest mountains are called composite volcanoes. Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, those ones like the perfect like triangles. A shield volcano, which like Mauna Kea is considered a shield volcano, where it's kind of like not as like
Oh
defined
yeah, yeah.
or kind of like how it spreads out and grows.
Hmm.
And then the lava dome, which I think we've seen some lava dome. I think that's kind of I want to say that's like Iceland was a lava dome. I could be wrong though. Their
Yeah, it's either
example
that or
is
it's like a shield one.
right. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. The circle-shaped Noveta dome that formed during the 1912 eruption of Katmai volcano in Alaska. So measures 800 feet across, 200 feet high. So that one's considered a dome. The Katmai one is their
Huh.
example here. But yeah, just that was just a quick little feedback.
Volcanoes are cool. I
They're
mean,
dope.
one of these days we'll see some lava.
I want to see some lava. I really do. I'm gonna like low key. You kind of watch Iceland and Hawaii, like places like that now, and it's like I would kind of maybe book a trip to Iceland just to go see the like volcano, maybe in the winter, even like it is now. I think that'd be kind of
Oh
cool.
yeah. It
Um,
would be cool in the winter because it's like such like big contrast, not just color wise, but fire and ice, that's your contrast there.
the
The
night and
black,
day.
yeah, night day, black to white to red. So I mean it would be really cool to see because of the color contrast as well.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking for just volcano, I'm probably going Hawaii just because I think I can find a cheaper flight.
Right.
Um, but who actually knows?
Yeah.
So
No,
you
and
find,
it's got to be planned for the volcano specifically, I think.
yeah,
You know.
it's one of those that's erupting, and you're like, all right, let's start booking. See
Yeah,
when's the quickest date we can get out there? What's the cheapest flight that's going to get us to that date? That kind of deal. And
exactly.
then yeah,
And then hop a jet.
it would be it would be really cool. I mean, it would be nice to go to Hawaii. That's just warmer. The sun would be nice.
Yeah, no, it honestly, it would be, but it would be different. Like it's cool. Like they're both cool in their own ways. Like that's what makes these volcanoes cool is the fact that like they're different.
I think Iceland would be a cooler one to go see if I'm totally honest,
I think it'd be
because
easier.
again, it's such a contrast
Right.
that you're gonna see. Whereas Hawaii will be cool, but because it's quite a bit warmer, you're not gonna get like the steam, the like that kind of stuff. So you're not you're gonna get a volcano experience, but I don't think you're gonna get like a volcano experience.
And I agree with you, and I think with Hawaii too, you get the United States kind of bureaucracy of like viewing the
Yeah.
volcano, where I think Iceland would be more like right now they're like based, when they first happen, they first start getting dangerous, they're like, hold on, let us take care of it and kind of figure out the situation. And then they say, okay, yeah, you can come into the area, take your pictures. You
Yeah,
can go
yeah.
like certain spots of the volcano. You can like they're open to that, which I do like. I did like that. I do think that that's nice.
They're
It's
not afraid
living
of
with
someone
nature.
suing them.
No, that's I mean you're not wrong, but it's the you're living with nature at that versus like
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Um,
Iceland does a really good job at living with nature.
they do. The Wild West is full of dangers, from snakes to bears. The outdoorsman must be prepared. That is why when you experience rivers like the San Juan or the Yellowstone, you must bring a blue ribbon net. Handcrafted and biodegradable, these classic wooden fishing nets are all you need while on the river. Make sure to use code RUGAROO10 when checking out at Blue Ribbon Nets. Again, the code is RUGAROO10. RUGARU10.
Yeah. So volcanoes, super cool. Speaking of cool shit in nature, I've got something I'm switching. Well, I'm not totally switching it up. But
Okay.
before I get to like our usual cool shit in nature, I wanted to try something uh out that will be a bit different.
Okay.
Where I found an article that involves nature in some way, or national parks, or some sort of thing like that. And I believe by the time this comes out, it will be the weekend. Let me just double check. Yeah, so for the people listening, when this puppy comes out this weekend, so March 1st through the 3rd, Death Valley National Park is having their stargazing festival, which is free for
Ooh.
anyone to go and visit. It's kind of a cool time to go to Death Valley Park, and I think this just adds to it because they've had all the atmospheric rivers.
Oh, yep, yep,
So
yep.
there's a fuck ton of water in Death Valley, which means that there's a lake that no one really ever sees that's currently in Death Valley because they've
Oh,
got water. So
so now will be the time to go, is what you're saying.
yeah, I now is the time to go. If you're planning, and I mean, Death Valley, it's a dark sky park. Uh, there's going to be a lot of. I saw they have trivia planned. They have
Oh,
constellation tours, which I don't know what that would totally entail, but I imagine someone's just walking you through a bunch, whatever are the stars you're seeing. Games for everybody, big and tall,
wow.
young and old. So make sure you go check it out. That's my cool shit in the news for nature.
I like
Cool
that. I
nature
like that.
news.
I like that. You know, on Unnative Podcast, Matt likes to open up with the random fact, kind of native fact to kick off the episode. So I like that. It kind of gets you tickles the toes, as they say.
Yeah. Just tickle just a bit. But no, back to our usual cool shit. Keeping in the theme of today. This is the current volcano
Ah, yes.
in Iceland. So here for it, this is where it's going across the road, which is pretty wild.
Is eating
Um,
the road, and that was I was watching the videos and stuff of this, right? Of when these
yeah,
volcanoes cross the road, and there's a pipeline too. That's where the fire is. When you see it like actual have like fire, it's when it's on like the asphalt and on the like
yeah,
pipeline. It's just burning. You're like, oh, like look at like the regular, it's just like fine.
yeah. Here it is from space.
Cool. That was really cool. The International Space Station looking down. Like,
Yeah.
is that where's the Blue Lagoon in? Is that
I
the
don't know, but you can see the airport because it's plowed. So in that top left corner is the airport. And so
right
Blue Lagoon, I want to say is like right there.
under the smoke somewhere, right?
It's either under the smoke or just to the left of it.
Like in between
So
it and
like
everything.
in this area.
Yeah, that's my thought too. I'm gonna pull up a map here on my end just because this has got me going. Um, okay, Grindavik. Grindavik is right. You know, see, so you see right where the
Grindavik
smoke's.
is going to be about
No,
right
no,
in
to the
here.
right, to the right. It's that right there, that dark down there. Like that's
Right in
Grindavik.
here.
Yeah, they're right on that bay. So straight up from Grindavik.
So Blue Lagoon's going to be in here.
Yeah.
It's
No,
pretty dang close to
like
old Blue
right where your
Lagoon.
mouse is. Like right where your mouse is.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Those hot springs are extra hot right now.
Fuck yeah, they is. I
Speaking
wish like
of Grindavik,
oh yeah, that's what you're saying. It was just eating up the town.
yeah.
We've been there.
So this is where we stayed our last night.
Yeah, I know. It's wild to think now it's under attack by the volcano people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Most expensive campsite we stayed in too.
Do you think they have volcano insurance?
I don't know. They've evacuated that town though.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. It looks like look at just the way it like right there. If you go back a page real quick,
Yeah.
like it looks like it. Look, it didn't even open up. Like it opened up a new line over here, like in town. Like it's like not
Yeah, I think it's
good to that.
all part of one line and it's just like erupting. Because I mean that one's like in town.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks like some of those modern homes that we were driving by there, like the newer ones that on the
Hmm.
edge that you're seeing. That's wild.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of wild to I mean,
Look at the way it just eats the house.
yeah, that sucks because it's like
What do
there
you
it
do?
goes.
What do you do?
There's nothing you can do, you know? Like, what was it? I saw someone like a picture, like one of the California fires. Some
Yeah.
guy turned on all of his sprinklers before he evacuated and just kept them going like nonstop. His house was saved. Everything else, like around where the sprinklers didn't touch, was burnt to a crisp. And
But
someone
the
made the
water.
comment, be like, that water bill is going to be crazy. But like this, you can't even use that strategy because it's just gonna just
Yeah,
melt you.
it's different. It's not fire. It's
Yeah,
molten lava.
yeah. So yeah, that's some cool shit in nature right there.
That's
If
intense.
I've ever seen it. Yeah, it's pretty it is pretty intense, very hot.
So getting back into Iceland, I got my Iceland water here. This is I
I
found
I was gonna comment on that. I was gonna say nice touch.
they have it at the Albertsons here in Wolf Point. So I get it. Like I'm like, fuck you. I'm gonna get my Iceland water. Good
Look at
shit.
this
It's
guy.
really good. Well, so it's some of the closest stuff to alkaline water, right? Like natural, basically. It's basically natural spring alkaline water. And if you're unfamiliar what alkaline water is, right? Alkaline water, um, it can help. They say it's has a higher pH level than plain tap water. So proponents say that it can neutralize acid in your bloodstream. Some say that alkaline water can help prevent diseases such as cancer and heart disease. However, more research is needed to verify these claims. But it's kind of just a different higher pH water, right? Getting into it, you talk about volcanoes. It part of it is to do with these volcanoes. So go ahead. You got something to say?
Well, yeah. It does. It's how like the volcano and the rock around the volcano like filters it. And so that's what makes it more alkaline. To continue on the alkaline water topic, I
Yeah.
actually know a lot more about this than probably the average person. Because this
Good.
is a massive fad in the like health fitness world right now is like
Okay.
more alkaline water, higher pH water.
Right.
And as in the idea behind it, right, is so if you go down to basic kind of like chemistry, comes down to hydrogen ions. When it's more acidic, there's more hydrogen ions. Whatever's more acidic, more hydrogen ions. If you add something that's more basic, it can accept hydrogen ions more. So by putting it into your body, and then once it gets to the bloodstream, the idea is it can absorb hydrogen ions. It's very similar idea to that thing that I love to do called earthing or grounding, where that absorbs hydrogen ions, but that does it through more of a charge, like electrical charge. This has to do with more of the blood chemistry and the chemistry that you're putting into your body. Research is actually out on if this actually does make a difference, partially because we have something in our body that's very, very acidic called our stomach. It's what helps us break down food before it gets into the intestine. So water does have to get through there. So therefore, it would be anything that's basic, super basic, would in theory get turned into more neutral, and you lose all of those potential, like potential accepting of hydrogen ions.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's my 2 cents
But you do
today.
you do your research on that stuff because you are in the industry. When you
Yeah.
get it, there's the three that I know of. You have the Icelandic glacial, the Waikea, which is Hawaiian, and then the Fiji, which is Fiji, right? They all, I think there's something different when you talk about just straight up alkaline, like you're saying, like when you get more into the science versus like these ones where they come from these natural springs and they're getting those minerals from the natural environment. I think there's something to that versus the science. You know what I mean? Like when you have the science, like there's people in labs that who can create alkaline water
Oh, 100%. You can
versus
buy pills that make it more alkaline,
right,
more basic. So you know, the thing about like this volcanic water is like if you were to go fill up a water bottle with tap, set it on
right.
the table, over time, it's going to get more acidic. Whereas like these more naturally alkaline waters that come from like a volcano, if you filled up a water bottle or a glass of water, set it on, that's not going to get the same, it's not going to have the same effect as like that tap water. It's going to stay at that more neutral, more basic pH level. Does that have does that have a different play on the body? I don't know, you know.
I feel
So
you.
it's something that research would have to look at.
The Icelandic glacial, they claim it's 8.4 pH, making it uncommonly high, and
Mhm.
they consider it natural alkaline water. It's sourced from the Olfus spring in Iceland, one of the world's largest springs. Um, the packaging's all biodegradable. That's neat to know. Um, the Waikea water in Hawaii. Okay, I didn't want to add.
That's like a
Um,
mixture of like rainfall and snowfall.
yeah, it's the filtration process through the volcano rock.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's where you get the minerals. I'm trying to see if they have their pH level. They just call it volcano water. Um,
Yeah.
I don't see any pH on them. The Fiji water
It's
is
good
also,
water.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and I think there's something to it. I think there's something to this volcano filtered.
Oh, it tastes way better. 100% it tastes better.
Yeah, I don't see the pH on their website either, but it's something I noticed on the set
8.4 is a
right.
high.
It is, and that's why they claim naturally. It's Fiji right here on their website. They 7.7 is what they claim theirs as.
Oh, that's pretty good too.
Yeah. So, but same thing, filtered kind of the
Yeah.
rainforest, filtered through volcanic rock and creating these natural spring waters. And I, I like it. I like natural water. I mean, I like the spring water that you do get in a like Glacier Park, even. It's different.
Oh, yeah.
It's similar. It's not the same, but I wonder. See, so then I wonder. Then getting into it, you talk Yellowstone a little bit too. Like the Yellowstone River, man, that is like growing up in Billings. They talk Livingston has some of the cleanest water in the country. They talk that Park has some of the cleanest water. You know what I mean? I'm curious if if the volcano there, if that big magma chamber down below has any helps in any way.
I'm sure it does have to do um has like some sort of like filtration or purification that does
Right.
to the water. Um but I mean, water is not polluted when it comes out of the ground. It's what it picks up along its journey to the ocean usually.
Right. Right. And the things we put in it, and the refineries we put on the fucking rivers and
Or the fracking that we put into the water table or all of that kind of fun stuff,
yeah, I know.
which is super bummer town.
I know it sucks. It's not fun. Um, kind of lastly, I don't know, we're kind of coming towards well, we got some time probably. Lastly
Might
from
have,
me.
yeah, we might have enough time for one more topic on volcanoes with any side potential.
All right, cool. Lastly from me, the Oregon State University, which I thought was really cool, kind of working with the Mount St. Helens Living Laboratory, and talking about volcanoes. They even have the Native American myths on their website that talks about Native Americans of the Pacific Northwest watched eruptions of Mount St. Helens long before the explorers and settlers came. Early accounts of eruptions were handed down and explained by their legends, contributing to a rich tradition of oral and history and myth. The Puyallup tribes. This is the longest story, but they're the ones who would have been right there, right? According to the lore of these tribes, long ago, a huge landslide of rock roared into the Columbia River near Cascade Locks and eventually formed a natural stone bridge that spanned the river. The bridge came to be called Tam, Taman Awas, Tamawas Bridge, or Bridge of the Gods. In the center of the arch burned the only fire in the world. So, of course, the site was sacred to Native Americans. They came from the north, the south, the west, and east to get embers for their own fires from the sacred fire. A wrinkled old woman, lady of the fire, lived in the center of the arch, tending to the fire. Lowit, as she was called, was so faithful in her task and so kind to the Indians who came for the fire. She was noticed by the great chief Tai Sahal, and he had a gift he had given to very few others. Among them, his sons Clickatat and Waist, and he decided to offer the gift to Lowit as well. The gift he bestowed on Lowit was eternal life, but Lowit wept because she did not want to live forever as an old woman. Sahale could not take back the gift, but he was told Lowit could grant her one wish. Her wish was to be young and beautiful. It was granted, and the fame of her wondrous beauty spread far and wide. One day, East came from the land of the Multnomas in the south to see Lowit. Just as he arrived, the Tanamanoa Spridge, his brother Clickatat, came thundering down from the north. Both brothers fell in love with Lowit, but she could not choose between them. Clickatat and East had a tremendous fight. They burned the villages. Whole forests disappeared in flames. Sahale watched all of this fury and became very angry. He frowned. He smote to Hanawana Spridge, and it fell into the river, where it still boils in an angry protest. He smote the three lovers too, but even then, as he punished them, he loved them. So where each lover fell, he raised up a mighty mountain, because Lowit was his beautiful was beautiful. Her mountain, Mount St. Helens, was a symmetrical cone, dazzling white. East Mountain, Mount Hood, still lifts its head up in pride. Clickatat, for all his rough ways, has a tender heart as Mount Adams. He bends his head in the sorrow, weeping to see the maiden Lowit wrapped in snow.
Well, would you look at that? Moral of the story, bros before hoes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or you become a volcano, right?
that's kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably why there's the Bridge of the Gods there.
Yep. Well, and you look reading some of these other tribes, right? The Yakima, the Klickitat tribes, the Cowlitz tribes, um, all have that same story. All have the brothers. They each are the brothers, right?
Yeah.
The Klickitat tribe they tell of two braves, Pahato, Mount Adams, and East, Mount Hood, who fought to win the affections of an ugly old hag who had been turned into a beautiful maiden by the Great Spirit. The Cowlitz Indian legends tell of a time when Mount Rainier had an argument with his two wives, Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams. Mount St. Helens became jealous and blew her top and knocked the head off Mount Rainier.
Oh.
So there's a love story between those mountains going on. Not quite clear.
There you go. I hate to end all of this erupting fun, but we are at that we're getting long here. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
time for final words. So final words, my guy.
Final words from the volcano episode. If you're ever in Iceland, there was a volcano museum close to Reykjavik that we probably could have toured if you wanted to do a volcano museum tour. I saw buses and vans going out there, so definitely check that out. I think Hawaii Volcanoes, when we were in Hilo, there's a museum there that had a good exhibit on all of Hawaii, really, the cultural side, the natural side. They had a really good volcano kind of definitions of like what's going on there. So definitely when you're in these areas, go take a look at the museums and the educational centers, the informational centers. You'll be surprised at what you can learn about what's going on. Because just like these stories, I didn't even realize like why East. I've heard that name before for Mount Hood. I actually have from native people. Like I've heard them call Mount Hood that, which is interesting. And then I read those stories today for you, and I'm like, holy shit! Like these tribes were connected. It makes me go down my tribal route of like, holy crap, there was these connections before. Like, how do you have all these different tribes that supposedly warred with each other that share similar stories and similar beliefs and languages? You know what I mean? Like, why does it happen, man? Because it's been going on. But that's for a different podcast. That's about it. That's about all I got for you.
Nice. Reverends, final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. Can't tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you for sticking it out, listening to this one, listening to all the others. Yeah. By the next one that comes out, we'll be, I think, in Africa, or at least you will be in
Yeah.
Africa. So be on the lookout in the next months for Africa stuff. So um, who knows? Maybe only one of us comes back. You
Yeah,
never know.
exactly. Who knows, man?
But with that being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.